Today we're going to make some sous vide rack of lamb. And how we're going to season them is with some rosemary, thyme, garlic, salt and pepper, and olive oil. What I have here is some chopped rosemary, thyme, and garlic. That's 2 teaspoons of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of thyme, and 2 cloves of garlic. That's going to get dry rubbed onto the rack of lamb, and then it's going to be placed into the sous vide bag along with some salt and pepper, of course, and olive oil, and then that's going to get cooked for about an hour and a half at 140 degrees. I've gone ahead and taken some of my spice rub and I've put it on the rosemary. We're going to put it on both sides. After that, we put some salt and pepper on both sides. And I like to use sea salt. Pepper again. So I've already added all the seasoning and I've placed my meat into my sous vide bag. I'm now going to add a little bit of olive oil, and we're looking at about 2 tablespoons. There we go. That's all we need. Now we're going to use the submersion method in order to get the air out of the bag. In order for the meat to cook properly, we need to get the air out of the bag. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to use the water submersion method, which I'm going to show you right now. So the bag basically goes into my pot of water, and I'm going to use the same water for cooking my food as well. And once it goes into the water, you slowly force it down, and that will force all the air out of the pot, or out of the bag rather, and then you can zip it up. What you might also want to do is zip it up and leave yourself a good inch or so, just so that the air can escape, and then force it all out. And just as the zipper gets to the top of the water line, you zip it up. And there you go. Water submersion method. So now I'm going to let that come to room temperature. And while it's marinating and coming to room temperature, I'm going to get my sous vide bath up to the correct cooking temperature. I'm just going to show you how I set my timer on my sous vide cooker. So I'm set it to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and I already entered that in, but I'll put it in again. 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Set my timer, 1 hour and 30 minutes. Set the timer, and normally you would just hit start Anova. In this case I've already started it, so it's ready to go, and it's currently 139.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and once it hits 140 we're ready to drop in our meat and begin our cooking. So there it says 140 degrees on the cooker, and there's my pot of water. We're going to put the meat in now. So there's the meat. That's going to go in. And I'm just going to clip it with just a simple office paper clip. That's all you need. Now we're going to let that cook for the next 1.5 hours. And I'll come back to it in just an hour and a half and we'll see how it looks. The lamb rack has finished cooking. It's been an hour and a half and it's thoroughly cooked. It's now ready to be browned. And there are a number of ways you can brown it. You can brown it in a hot skillet with some butter, like I've shown here. But what I've done is I'm actually going to use the pan as a plate and I'm going to brown it using a hot torch, which I will begin doing right now. Now I'm going to let it rest for about 5 to 7 minutes and then we'll cut it up and we'll be ready to plate. So here we have the finished product. The lamb is all cooked, it's sliced up, looks great. I made some potato gnocchi with some sage brown butter sauce. You can see that the ends are nicely seared. The middle is a really nice medium rare. Got some good color on it. And I'm really happy with it. So, bon appetit. And if you have any questions, then feel free to hit me up. Enjoy.